Hi there, everyone. This is Mondion Astral Oracles, and let's get some love and healing up in this Mother Father. So, I'm going to contact the 9D Sirian collective. I've never channeled them before, and I have never seen anyone channel them before, but I assume they must be channeled by a lot of people. The 9D collectives are exactly that, collective consciousnesses. And the way I see them, I perceive these things very visually when I channel is I kind of see them as these orbs made up of massive relays of individual consciousnesses. So this type of harmonic globe viewed from the inside, and then you can see all these bright spots of individual beams of light streaming from the different parts of it, and it's a very beautiful place to go, the ninth dimension, and you can also move into the human collective consciousness and have this vision, though we call it the unconscious for a reason, right? We're still moving into that place from our own vantage point in the timeline, and also is it sky and earth, heaven and earth? Friend of the show, Tara, asked about these orbs of light, or I guess the UFOs, at least like appearances of lights in the sky that turned up and then vanished, and she felt very happy and comforted when she saw them, I believe. And for some reason it didn't get into the live stream, but there's probably a good reason for that, so I'm sure they'll also answer that. So thank you for being here, and hope you enjoy. Yes, hello and blessings to Earth. We are the Sirian 9-dimensional collective. That is the title that is being assigned to us in this verbal space that we now communicate in and that we transmit our energies into. But indeed we are energetic, and you would perceive our energies far clearer if you were just to go outside and look at the bright dog star in the sky beaming its constant lights of reassurance and wander down into you. We have a long story, and we have integrated many types of consciousnesses into our own incarnational experience until we reach this point of balanced perfection. You may say from your point at least, we are very harmonic in the way that we have configured ourselves. And so this image of the globe or the sphere that's surrounded by different nodal points of life in an infinite mesh or lattice work of crisscrossing geometries, nodal points. These are good ways to approach us if you were to approach us visually. If you would like to approach us through sound, we would like to bring through this sound that may stimulate human consciousness into an awareness of who we are. We could go even higher in pitch, but it is difficult when we are operating the vocal cords of a specific human being. It is also difficult to move more upwards, but we would find ourselves in the soprano scale, and so if you moved even higher into pitch, you would actually arrive at us. But then of course it would be your dogs that would be able to listen to this sound from the dog star, and no longer human ears that perceived the sound we were emitting. If you were to sense us sensorically that is through your haptic apprehension or those tactile faculties which you call the feeling of sense or the sense of feeling. There you could perhaps approach us as a type of warm, clear light, much as the heat you feel in your cheeks or your ears or other places in your skin on a cold day, when this bright, crisp air that seems purifying to your lungs and everything, it stimulates and activates that warm flush of healing energy within you. See, this is a pulsation of love that is always present in human beings. And as you move deeper into this sensation, this pulsation of deep love that exists within the cosmos, indeed exists within our collective and in our heart centers, in our collective beating heart center, focused to transmit this pulse of love both to the individual nodal points within our configuration, but also to other beings who may be willing to receive it and who may be willing to then offer some interesting or curious vibrations back to us, such as yourselves, human beings. See, we are a bright star on many planets, but we hold a certain love for humanity, having been invested greatly in the creation of you and having been the composers of some of these warm vital energies, some of these systems within you that serve to keep up your body. See, we were, for instance, the architects behind your immune system. This is of course some ancient codes, but notice that human beings have the healing power to recuperate from things that other living beings on this planet would have a very hard time to recover from. And this is not an individual gift. It is true that you can return from the brink of death, and you often do when your consciousness aligns with this healing pulse and this belief in the great love and abundance, the superfluous joy that is being offered to all of you by simply turning your attention in the right place. But you are also able to transmit this healing power to other animals, other beings, other plants, other ecosystems. And so you are indeed, as we intended for you to be, also life givers and life sharers. You cannot help but share this pulse of abundant life with other beings, and as you do so, you find that it mirrors, well, the truth of your own nature, of your own high vibrancy, of your own loving hearts back to you. And so, for instance, well, our friend here that is lending his vocal cords to this message, he finds himself in a place where there are quite a few cats, and see, these cats, they were also rescue kittens. They were on the brink of death, some of them not more than, or much more than a year ago, and now they are healthy and happy. And these cats, well, as you know, these are quite solitary creatures and do not have a social instinct, but being around humans and being in this loving energy, well, it turns out that one of the older rescue kittens has sort of nursed and taken care of the other cats and brought them back to life. But it was all instigated and it was all orchestrated by the loving vibration offered to them by that dear woman who took them in and loved them with the benevolence and abundance of her heart. Isn't that wonderful? That's a gift you all have, and these are the small examples you can go looking for in your life What have you nourished and made flourish? Is it a plant in your windowsill? Was it once when you planted beans as a child and saw the stalks sprout, and there you could then collect these fascinating items of life-giving wonder that were able to grow new life? Was it that, or was it you offering a kind word to a stranger? Was it you lending a helping hand or holding the door for someone? These are all expressions of the deep love that you have within your heart, human beings, and that you cannot help but share and mirror out. And this is indeed the world that you are building. If you are willing, this is the world that you will build, and have faith that love can grow and love proliferates. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. Indeed, it is the only force. All others are simply emanations that hold lesser and lesser of the remembrance and the knowledge of this beautiful vibration, this sublime reality of infinite wonder, this cornucopia that spills over with trust in all that is good, and with the bounty of this cosmos that we find ourselves in. And so this cosmos, even though it appears shared, and indeed it is, you also come to the very complex realization that each and every one of you, you create your own universe, and these universes are indeed adjacent to each other, and many of them overlap, but these are vibrational realities, or using the term vibrality, a favorite word that we believe was brought forward by our Arcturian friends through this channel. The vibrality of you is indeed that specific vibration you hold, and all other beings that are in alignment with this vibration, all other beings that have entered into soul contracts with you, be they great or small, they enter into this vibrality, lending a share of their own vibration, but remaining intact in their own pure high and integrated selves, this truth of who they really are beyond this game of incarnation and amnesia that you often identify yourselves into, to have fun with it, no. And that is to answer the question of dear human Terra, who has been experiencing these lights in the sky that will flicker and then turn up. We see that, well, they shine bright and then they disappear, and she has been wondering what they are. Well, in truth, they are UFOs, no. That is, they are unidentified flying objects as soon as you see them flying. And if they're not flying, then they're just UOs, they're just unidentified objects, or they're unidentified points of light, UPLs, whatever you want to call them. Know that it's the feeling you experience of this type of comfort of remembrance that's important. See, there are many reasons to see lights in the sky, and rarely these are alien technocraft. That is what you may connect to UFOs, flying saucers. Of course, if you were to see a great flying triangle with the different types of light that seem to emit light beams, and it descends and small aliens come out and greet you, well then, well, you are right on the money, but then you wouldn't be asking us. And so what is more important is to remember that indeed these things that you experience on the outside, these are simply the higher or externalized part of yourself that is offering a helpful experience back to that localized or internalized part of yourself, that thing you normally call you, the mind-body complex. And so when you feel that sense of comfort, when you feel that sense of remembrance, know that this is exactly because there's a harmony being established by the higher part of you, the divine part of you, and the temporal part of you, this body part of you. And it's this wonderful connection that you experience and that you enjoy. And that is so very helpful. So collect these experiences, and the more you relish them, and the more you also share them with others in these safe spaces, for instance, the more they are able to grow and the more you are able to allow them. So you could think of these shimmering lights or these lights disappearing as God winking at you, simply opening a small eye of an infinitude, trillions upon trillions of eyes in the night sky, and there just sending you a slight wink and reminding you that you seem extraordinarily lovely to the heavens today. You seem extraordinarily lovely to that divine part of you, which is always orchestrating things for your higher good and your higher purpose. That is a way to perceive everything around you. It is sometimes easier to remember when it is lights in the sky, but also know that other people surrounding you, these are also small gifts that your higher self sends you in order to have this experience of unwrapping the surprise of existence. And the more you can savor this unwrapping, the greater you will feel as you move through this great simulation, game, experience, development, ascension, leveling up, indeed, all these things that are happening as you move through life and gather experience and use those to come into higher and higher degrees of connectivity with yourself and with the externalized parts of you containing the lent vibrations of others, thereby creating and strengthening this chain that will move you up into higher consciousness, more steady consciousness, more collected consciousness. There you will then be able to find yourself one day situated where we are situated now, in that beautiful ninth dimension of infinite radiance, of energetic abundance, of a place where everything is harmonic, cared for, resting in deep peace and love, curiosity and exploration, still discovering, yet never in lack, always just going for the next bridge to cross over beautiful landscapes and for the next mountaintop within this infinite, beautiful creation, this manifold multiverse we all share. Therefore, we, the ninth dimensional Sirian collective, we have been so very pleased to communicate and connect with you this day. It has been a very loving, healing experience for us, and we have offered the same to anyone who has wished to receive it. Therefore, our blessings and our love to you, sweetest human beings. You are all shining stars in the eyes of the all.